All right, welcome back to Will Work for Podcast, guys. Apparently this is season 5. Who knew? But I'm
Fifth one.
Daniel, fifth one, and I'm Daniel Thornton, and with me is
Brendan Boland.
all right, and we're back, baby. We're back.
In some form. Yeah. Rested.
Some form or
a little bit
another.
tan. I
Get
survived COVID, so there's that.
Hey,
I feel like
there
I'm
you
really
go.
back. You know what I mean? I got
Yeah.
air in my lungs. Yeah.
There you go.
I will say this. So I did a bit of traveling recently, right? And on both of those planes, like also Biden changed the requirement. So I did all these loops to get my letter of recovery, right? To make sure that I could actually come back into the country since I wouldn't
Right.
test negative. And he changes it on the Sunday. But anyways, on both of those flights, as someone who's now survived COVID or had COVID, I should say, since I had it after vaccination boosters, definitely there's like COVID cop all over. I will say the first flight, you'd appreciate this. It was just all in the first class. There's like some first class family with like COVID kids. And like the dad's like walking up because he's like, he's trying to be a good dad, but he's like walking up and down the aisle with this kid that's just spewing COVID like all over the first class cabin. So, travel safe, y'all. Just know that it's out there right now. But anyways.
Yeah, it's out there, it's happening, but if you're boosted and like it's just a sickness now, like it's just a part of life. That's what I tell.
Yeah, at least from my experience, a couple of days. You had it too, right? I guess, right?
I had too. I had a couple of days, and like it's rough. I mean, Thor had it for like 2 weeks, so like it can be a lot rougher. It depends on the person. So, but yeah, so you're traveling, and we are going to talk about traveling while working or remote working. Yeah. So what do you want to get into it?
Well, because you had this experience about a couple months ago where you went and you did a full week in a similar time zone. So what was funny about me, and we can get to your experience, the time difference from Pacific Coast to where I was at was about 9 hours. So really my office isn't going on until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? Or actually later. So it was an interesting experiment because I did like the fact that I had the day. Like when I tried to do it on the East Coast and like visit people and whatever and still be working, that was hard because it was like, it was the middle of the day. I'm trying to figure out stuff. I'm answering emails while also having like coffee with friends. So this was funny because I could go out, I had my breakfast, I had some lunch, walked around, like enjoyed the space, and then came back to the Airbnb I was at and went on. I will say, I was talking to my colleague who I was doing this with, most likely if over time, it just means that you're not doing a full shift unless something's up, right? Like you're definitely checking out early, depending on you get the requirements done and things like that, and then you move on. But it was an interesting experiment. I'll say that. So what was your experience?
I mean, well, I went the reverse. So we were like 4 hours backwards. So that was So it's okay. You have to wake up really early in that sense, so that sucks. But then you get done at 2, or like we were done at 2 because it was 3 hours behind because it was on Pacific time. But so it's good in that sense because then you get done early. You can go out. You can do stuff. Like you've got the whole day ahead of you.
Afternoon, evening to go out. Yeah.
Right, but you also got to wake up really early, which I hate. So I'm not really a big fan of that. When I did it abroad, because I've done it in like several different circumstances now. So when you do it abroad and you're like going to a location that you actually want to be in, it kind of sucks a lot because you're there and you keep on thinking, because even then I did it basically in the same time zone. It was a 1 hour behind, but basically the same.
Right.
So it's like, but then Kara would like go out and do stuff because she took the time off and I would be working. And I was just like, I don't like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I here and working? So every time I hear like these TikTokers or other people talking about their experiences, I'm always like, yeah, man, I guess that's cool. But if you're really traveling all this time, it's gotta suck to like work while you're trying to do all of this. Like,
I think if you're there, if you're doing the full month, right? If you're doing the full month of the nomad thing, you're like at a hostel that has like the WeWork space, because that was true in the place I was at. It was funny to see how many of the hostels had now created, tables and desks and the internet and all that, right? So it just totally changed the hostel environment in that sense, right?
Right.
But I suppose if you're there with enough time that you're having the weekends, you're having the time outside of your day, it makes sense. If you're doing kind of the 3-4 day whatever and I'm only in this place, then you definitely feel like you're just missing out, I guess. But something to try, I guess. And, try it. Yeah. Tell us what you think. Send us a comment. Give us a story. We'll share it because definitely it's, I think, to each their own,
Yeah, for sure. Like, let us know how you felt it went, and we can kind of assess it from there. But moving on to our rejection letter of the week. This rejection letter of the week comes from Quicksilver Studios. Oh. And so this is also
not
from
the clothing
Reddit.
brand.
Not the clothing brand. It's from You Back and Forth from Reddit. It says, we have quite enjoyed getting to know you and sharing our experience at Quicksilver Studios with you over the past weeks. I appreciate your patience as we ensured that you met with key team members and worked through our final candidate review process. We were universally impressed with your ambition, your focused pursuit of a career in project management, as well as PMP certification and natural curiosity, all of which served you well in the future. Ultimately, after much consideration, we chose to extend an offer to other final candidate who has accepted. Ideally, we would bring you aboard concurrently, but we just aren't in a position to do so at this time. With that said, we do consider you at the top of our short list moving forward for future roles, and if interested, would be open to revisiting you joining our team as the year unfolds. For background, there are several large-scale client conversations that could see us needed to add our team quickly, but as time, those conversations are ongoing. Interesting rejection letter. It's like I give it really good rejection letter, but it's like that. It's like winning the silver medal. Like, you're happy you got a medal, but you're also pissed you got gold. You didn't get gold.
So close.
Like, you're right there. And then I wonder for those also, like, you kind of rack your brain because, like, you're like, what's that one thing? What's that little detail that would have got me over the finish line? So that's always a thing, but it was a good rejection letter.
That's when you wait for the website to update, and then you just look at the person on LinkedIn, right? You have to do a little sleuthing to kind of see who this person is and what they did. Yeah. I mean, what's even interesting about that role or this person as a candidate, right? They have the PMP certification, which is not like that's significant for project management for those that are in that space. So this person definitely has the advanced certification, like clearly some years of experience. I will say though, like, instead of focusing on that piece, I read that, and in my head, if I really wanted this job, if this was the place that like was my number one, I'm following up. Right.
Oh, like
that, there's enough of a thing there that's saying like on the monthly or something like that. Right. Every 8 weeks, maybe sending that email saying like, hey, just checking in. Like, you know,
oh no, you send that email back and you say, hey, do you mind if I like check back with you in 3 months and like see how it's going and just keep in contact with that like recruiter or whoever that person is to really like see if any of the things have unfolded, if the timeline has increased or sped up, who knows? So like, yeah. But hey, send us your rejection letters, like and subscribe. Just follow us on all the platforms. We really enjoy like hearing from you, and on with the show.